Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Cocktails and Rocktails with me, your most notorious groupie, Alison Rouse, author of We've Got Tonight, The Life and Times. You guys know where these other books right here, where you can get that, my merchandise, everything down in that description, my TikTok. Come and join me on TikTok while we still got it if we're going to lose it. But anyway, and as always, I like to start by being thankful because really, truly, everybody here, the family we're making, the community we have, whether we're holding conversations or you're just hanging out silently in the nosebleeds, thank you guys so much for just being so cool and for creating and following me. I really, truly appreciate everything here from you guys. It may not always seem it because I do suck at answering emails. I have like 6 months worth to catch up on, and I'm so sorry. But thank you so much to the amazing people that I've been able to meet, interview. You guys rock. I love it here. It's just like an old school concert. We're all just hanging out and enjoying the company. So thank you so much. And today, yeah, you guessed it, we're having some more readings. But we're going to be reading from some of my journals. You know, I've done this before, and I kind of like to want to let you guys into a little more personal side that I don't really share with a lot of people, because when I wrote my book, it was all sex, drugs, and rock and roll. You guys can have that, you know? That was kind of my approach to the book. So it just kind of makes sense for me to let you in just a little more. Maybe not all the way, because there's a lot of things that I never will tell. Somebody was chiding me on a John Entwistle thread the other day. You act like you got some big secrets. Bitch, I do. I got secrets you will never know. And you think you've got some big secrets? Well, guess where your knowledge came from. I bet you it came after 2002 when all the press was happening. So you think, yeah. But yes, I do have a lot of secrets that I don't tell. I have a lot of things that I really don't talk about. Let me make sure I've got everything where I want it to be. Okay, yeah. So we're going to do some readings from my journal, and we're going to be finishing up our nice little Red Rock Drioma Russian Imperial Stout. You guys, if you got Red Rock in your state, seriously, check them out. They are awesome. They really do an incredible brew. They know their balance. They're just amazing. So, all right, everybody, kick up your feet and let's have a little cocktails and rocktails. Cheers, big ears. Okay, so a couple of things I do have marked out, but a couple things I'm just going to kind of flip through the pages and see where we land. All right, so where I have up, so this is my journal. This is from my Seattle years, kind of close to the end of my Seattle years because I left around 2003 permanently. I moved out in 2002 in November, but then kept coming back to work. Uh-oh. So, yeah, but what was I saying? Yeah, I left Vegas in 2002, but okay, so we're going to start with this journal. This is February 17th of '01. So this was the morning after Vincent Paul. This is about Vincent Paul. So this was the morning after we had hung out when his bodyguard Chris told him not to call me Vincent Paul, and Vin was like, oh no, she can call me that. It's okay. It's comforting. So, all right, this is February 17th of '01. Vincent Paul did leave me the sweetest message. I made his day and made his way. He said he really had the best time with me, that it was unbelievable. Because Vin and I always just had this crazy chemistry. We just kind of got lost in our own world and just had so much fun together, whether it was just talking, hanging out in the room, listening to fucking music, whatever. I have paged him twice and have not heard from him. And this was like within a week. I hate that. Vin said he wanted to see me again, but we'll see. I really adore that man. He was so much of what I want in a man, but he hasn't called back. And I don't want to be the psycho groupie and keep calling him, but I don't want to let go either. All I want is a chance with him, to get to know him, and to see where it would go. I think he and I would be good together. I think we would have been, but wasn't meant to be. And that's okay. Not everything's meant to be. Even if you have crazy chemistry, you don't have to force it into a structured relationship, you know. I think Vin and I were actually perfect as we were. God, please let good and wonderful things happen with Vincent Paul Abbott. Okay, February 24th. Went to Peter Frampton last night with my friend. Not going to say their name. I had so much fun. We left Peter Frampton and went over to George Clinton and the P-Funk All-Stars. I got dragged onto stage with them. How funny. Wish Vincent Paul would call. Well, I'm seeing a pattern. But yeah, I've already done an episode on George Clooney being dragged on stage with him and stuff. So go down, check it out. It was a lot of fun. Okay, so where else are we? What is going on? Oh, this is January 18th of 2002. Well, I skipped a few things in here. What else? Let's see. What else is in here? So January 8th of 2002. Guess I must have been pretty distracted. Not paying attention. All I can say is thank you for the intro. And oh God, Glenn Tipton. What a hot man. I'm surprised we survived that drive down the strip. I'll write more about it later. But thank you for whoever taught him that. Yeah, I wrote that in my journal. Because if you've watched anything about Glenn Tipton, Glenn did not start doing the, what the hell is in this book? Oh, okay. Oh, well, but anyway, Glenn didn't start going, on women until he was 50. And there's another episode about my Vegas years in this. It was about 6 months before John passed away. Glenn and I were driving down the strip, my leg out the window, his head between those legs. Not very good. I would not recommend trying to drive with that kind of distraction. All right. So we are going backwards. Oh, wait, no, we're not going backwards at all. We're going forward. This is August 27th of 2005. Had a couple dreams about Steve last night. It was actually kind of a continuation. Because, and I've talked about this before, about these dreams I would have of Steve Jones from the Sex Pistols, and he would call me right back, like the next day, every fucking single time. Every time. So in this dream, I was in LA, and the first time I saw him, my friend got into the front seat of his car, an old Mustang Gray, and she crawled onto him and started kissing him. I was like, hello, get off him. So she stopped. She was apologizing and kind of like, well, he wasn't kissing you. So I got up next to him, and Steve and I were having the SEX. Then I woke up, and when I went back to sleep, my friend and I were at the Rainbow, getting ready to go to the Rainbow. I skipped a couple pages. I had gone to the bathroom, and on one side of the stall was open to the outside. It was grassy. And when I walked out, I went to the closet and put on a white stripper dress I had. Steve came and took me into this room, and I was laying on a bed waiting for him to be ready, and one by one, everyone else was leaving. All of a sudden, I felt some hands massaging me. I turned around to look, and it was Stephanie Seymour. She was Axel's ex-fiance. For some reason, I put Steve's. Oh, in the dream, she was Steve's ex-fiance. Guess that's what I meant. She crawled in the window, and we were all talking. She was going to go shopping and asked me what kind of perfume I liked. I told her a couple kinds and said, surprise me. He kind of pouted and said he wanted me to go with him. So we walked out to his car, and Stephanie wanted to come too, but he said no. Steve and I got in the car and began having the SEX again while he was driving. Then I woke up. Well, see, that kind of pisses me off because that's in the middle of SEX. I don't stop SEX until I have the big O. Ladies, if you're not having the big O, that's not your man. Move on. And if it is your man, tell him how to have the big O. Okay, let's see. Now I've got another one marked. So this is March 30th of 2006. And yes, Steve did call a couple days later. Took him a couple days, but what'd you do, love? Not you. So this is March 30th of '06. Okay, so here we go again. I have had 3 dreams about Steve in the last week. The first one, we were in some reality show house and he was in the pool. I was trying to get him to go with me, but he stayed at the end with that with this, what, I can't even read my rating. With some bitch from MySpace. I think it was Tia Tequila, I think is what I wrote. But he was still nice to me. In the second one, I had been staying in his house. The place was bright white. We kept kissing and throwing each other down onto the bed. But he wouldn't have sex. That's not Steve Jones at all. The MySpace bitch wasn't in the dream, but the thought of her was. In the third dream, the Pistols were playing in Vegas at the Hard Rock. Steve called me and asked me to hang out when I got there. And when I got there, he was in his robe or towel, and he started cooking something with an egg. He sat next to me on the couch and was being sweet, and again, a lot of kissing. No sex. But this time, no tequila bitch. Not even a thought. But in this one, the next day, I had gone back with Danny and Andrea, and we couldn't get to him. I could feel him wondering where I was. There were all the funky broken elevators. I dropped my purse down the side of the building and went down to get it, and this VIP host, Lynn, got it out of the fountain for me and gave me our laminates, our backstage passes, and we had a Kenny Chesney pass on it. I gave the laminates to each person, and we were beginning to walk through the casino, and I woke up. That's it. My dreams. What does it all mean? And again, yeah, Steve Jones showed up somehow, some way. Okay, what's this one? Bill has received, this is December 23rd of '06. Why did I think this happened in '08 and even '10? Bill, that's my lawyer, has received a letter of apology to me from Roger Daltrey. That means the other letters have gone out, and I wonder what, if anything, will happen. Because he had to send out apology letters. I sued Roger Daltrey for slander and libel, and he had to send out not only apology letters to me, but apology letters to be published in the magazines that I sued him over. It is just completely unreal to me. I have this letter from Roger Daltrey. I never would have thought this would happen. The whole thing, all those years ago, standing by the buses, not in a million years. But I do have that. It is done. And Bill and I did it. I sued Roger Daltrey and won. I was so happy. We hugged, what's this? This is just a thought from February 5th of '07. God, I just really wasn't writing in my journal very much. I was busy. I was still playing the band game. So those were the days of rock and roll. Hell, even the tour buses were legendary, because they were. All right, let's see. Let's see what else was. If stupidity got me into this mess, why can't it get us out? What is this? Groupie isn't a sexual act or an action. It's an existence, a persona. It's being in the music and being led into it without knowing where the exit is. But then again, who was really looking to get out? Okay, so that was a nice little quote. Let's see, what else is in here? Ooh, here's something interesting I'll show you guys. So at some point in my life, I really wanted to design. I still love to design. My dad taught me, and we built some furniture pieces together. I love working with wood. I love building furniture, designing. It's, to me, just another form of art. So this is some of my drawings. We'll kind of go through. As you can see, you can kind of pause to read. So I always name, this is the Danny Magnolia Suite. So I always name after friends or family or whatever. So this is kind of a living room suite that I designed. And all the furniture I was designing at the time had what do you call it? Some form of stained glass in it. This one, we all know who this bitch is made after. The Jonesy bedroom suite. And this is before he had his bedroom now. So this was the Union Jack flag. Everything's here. If you want to pause to look at it, you're more than welcome to do that. Let's see. What's another one? Oh, this is named after one of my sisters. I'm covering up the name. So, and again, the headboard was made out of stained glass. You can see all my notes, how I was going to make it and everything. So, yeah. Oh. Okay, so let's see. What else do I have? Okay, so we're going back to July 12th of '01. Paged Vincent Paul yesterday. He called back, but I wasn't home. Fuck. They will be playing in Little Rock tomorrow. Great. Sweet Connie and her little protege will no doubt be in strong force, as usual. Because Sweet Connie was still very much, in 2001, she was still very much hanging out backstage. And she had a little protege with her at the time. She was trying to, you know, keep the vibe going, so to speak. All right. Oh, well. He better fucking call again. I am the best woman for him. Little ego there. And as soon as he opens his blind little eyes, he will see that. I really hope Abby was right with what she told me. Oh, I know who she was. I guess we will see. Soon enough. I mean, really, I could run off to the Middle East with Salah. Who would have thought an Arabic Muslim sheikh would be the only, and I do mean the only man I've dated that holds me in such high respect and dignity? He wasn't. We kind of tend to think down on ourselves sometimes, and I was definitely thinking down on myself, that's for sure. If things don't work with Van, all I have to do is make that call. Salah has and will give me the world and freedom to roam it. So, but let Abby be right with what she told me. Oh yeah, Salah's horse treasure chest, the one he wants me to have, just won the Royal Ascot races in England. That's way more prestigious than all the America's Triple Crown. So, yeah, Salah was going to give me a horse. He had several horses, and I had a horse traveler that my dad had for me when I would go to my dad's and stuff like that. This is a side that people don't know about me. I love horses. I love to ride horses. And Salah had these amazing race horses. And there were several. General Mukhtar was a beautiful, beautiful, just caramel color from head to toe. The tail, Arabian horse, because obviously he's from Saudi. But yeah, so, and he was like, I'll give you this one. And I was like, okay. Okay, so what else do we have? Oh, speaking of finding little backstage passes, I know there's another one here from Priest in here somewhere. Ah, there it is. There's another one. Same tour. Oh, January 21st. Let's see. Oh, that was when Glenn called. Glenn had called me. Danny was down in Florida. She had friends working for Priest that had introduced Glenn and I. And Glenn had called me and was like, be a good girl, baby. Be a good girl. Yeah, fuck off, Glenn. Things didn't end pretty with me and Glenn, so I don't care. Let's see. What else do we have? Let's see here. Oh, this is July 3rd. This is in the middle of what's coming up on the 22nd anniversary. So this is a journal entry made in July 3rd of 2002. We all know what happened in June 27th of 2002 was when John had passed away. And this is somewhere between June 27th and August 3rd, because August 3rd was when they released the coroner's report with my unlisted name, and that's when the press found out who I was. They came after me, all kinds of stuff. Okay, so this is a journal entry from July 3rd. So fucking pissed. Cy called to tell me that Bill, another guy that was hanging out in the room that night, John's art distributor, and Cy says that Bill got a call from some tabloid reporter saying I was holding a press conference to sell my story to the highest bidder. Why the fuck are they doing this to us? I just want this whole thing to blow over and for John Entwistle to be treated with respect now and always. What I should have been paying more attention to was me in that equation to be treated with respect, because John will always be treated with respect. Lord knows. And it's just that time of year again, I get really protective and really bitchy because it's gearing up to that 27th when everybody's like, oh, it's such a rock and roll death, hookers and blow, hookers and blow. Fuck you. All right. So I should have been thinking more of myself, but this, Cy and I couldn't think about ourselves during this time. We had to do the PR. We had to do, hiding. We were the ones who were in charge of basically the whole press. Bill Kerbishley, the band's manager, and Rex King, the tour manager, were checking in once in a while, but Cy and I were dealing with it all on our own. So, let's see. And for my privacy as well. I am so fucking freaked out by all this. I wouldn't even know how to call a press conference. Please, just let this all stay private. My reputation is worth too much to me. More than money. And so is respect and the privacy for all involved. This is July 5th, 02. Still fucking livid. What Cy told me is now printed in that same gossip column. It says I am reportedly going public. I have never once attempted to contact the media, nor have they come in contact with me, and hopefully they never will. I don't ever want them to get to me. Who is this one-eyed bastard trying to push the issue? Oh, that was Norm Clark. Sorry, Norm. You have been very cool to me after this. So much respect. I was kind of pissed at you. That was the first person to call me a few weeks later. And I was not wanting to talk to anybody. And you can see, I'm reading this very calmly, but I was like, fuck this shit. I was like hiding between my own apartment, and I did go to the Middle East. I hid there with Sala. So I was writing, and Cy didn't know, nobody knew. I didn't tell anybody that I was taking the fuck off. I think Cy knew I told him I was in Salt Lake with my mom. I didn't tell him I was over in Bahrain and stuff, but we were still, in contact going through all this, and it was just pissing me off because the stripper in question that was holding the press conference was the girl that took this last picture of John. Well, this wasn't the actual last picture. There was a couple more taken on the way to the elevator, but it was this chick trying to sell a story that was not hers to sell. Okay, sorry, I just realized my mic wasn't plugged in, so it's going to sound a little different. So it wasn't her story to sell, and this was all going on. So this is, right there. I just hope this all goes away with no parties disrespected, being harmed, blamed, or anything else in any way, shape, or form, even that one-eyed, disrespectful, malicious reporter. Because I think they were using that. I think that they were using, that the strippers going public as a way to kind of goad me out of the woodwork. I know that the one stripper that took that last picture was supposedly, she was trying to sell the picture, which she obviously did. But once they realized that she wasn't the person in the room that night, she was dropped like a fucking hot potato. So, okay. And when I'm writing this, I was also, because I believe in sometimes you put words out there and you really want them to come true. So I was writing this, in the form of, protecting us all, Oh, July 6th, 02. Yeah, this just keeps getting sicker. Some girl sold some pictures of John. They took them that night to the Star tabloid. One is that stripper that I knew was Sala from Olympic Gardens. That sellout stripper whore. She gives ones like me a bad name. What sellouts? I am so glad that is not me. I can't fucking believe this. And the story is not only contradictory, it's a load of crap. And it mentions John frolicking in his room with a stripper. Ugh. Some people make me throw up. Because that's how I was feeling. And to put it in context, this girl, and it was kind of I don't know the irony of it or whatever, or sometimes we get shown certain things in our lives as warnings. And we all know I had a tarot card reading that was talking about this guy with, I can't tell, she was saying, I can't tell if he has white hair or black hair, because John had gone from black to white, is natural. She's like, but he's going to impact your life. And the death card kept coming up long before. And then when Salah had come into town, when I was right before the first time I went to Bahrain with him, went to the Middle East, he wanted to see someone dance for me, just, kind of his little foreplay thing, which cool, but I'm not going to do it in my own club. I don't shit where I eat. I don't want to get into that. I don't, need to be going into my own club. So we go into Olympic Gardens. We immediately walk into the VIP room. His brother's getting a little something I never did, or none of the strippers that I worked with would ever do, because we had cameras all over the fucking place. But he was getting a little more action than he should have been. This is why I'm saying that stripper gives strippers like me a bad name. Not just only for, trying to be like, oh, I'm the stripper everybody's looking for. No, you weren't, bitch. But because of her actions previous to this. When Salah and I went in, she was just giving me a dance, which was cool. I was kind of touching her waist. Salah's like, kind of touch her hips. He's telling me kind of what to do that's turning him on. Going to do that for my men. That's how I do. Because they do for me too. In and out of the bed. We all do for each other. When I'm dating someone, I'm dating that someone, But so she started to lift up my shirt and try and put some mouth on things that my bells, that no, don't be doing that. Not into that. To each their own. I do not judge anybody for their choices between consenting adults and who you want that adult to be. Cool, you do you. But this is me, and that just wasn't me. And then she started to try to put her hand down my jeans, because I was just wearing jeans and this little Dolce & Gabbana t-shirt that my niece now has. But and some heels, and she was trying to put her hand down my jeans. So I was like, no. And Salah was like even freaking out because he could tell I was not comfortable. And Salah was so like protective of me that he was like, he grabbed her hand. He was like, no. So when I saw that picture with John, I was like, oh my God, that's that fucking whore. And I'm not saying that as a degradation because if she was doing that with us, she was trying to unzip Salah's pants and do what was happening to her brother behind us in the little booths, and Salah wasn't having it either because he knew I wouldn't like that. He just wanted to see a little foreplay. That was it. See me, kind of caressing another woman. That's what he wanted to see. And he had to grab her hand again. He was like, that's it. Threw a few $100 more down on the table because he had already paid $2,000 for the VIP room. Then he just threw a few more $100, I think like another $1,000 down on the table. He's like, let's go. So when I saw this picture of John, that this girl had sold out and realized it was her. And I knew she was there the night before, but I guess I just really didn't think of her. She had gone to the table when I went to the bathroom. And by the time we got, as we can see in that picture, I'm in the background getting a drink. So by the time I got back to the table, she was gone. So when I saw this picture, I was like, this girl will do anything for money, won't you? It's that kind of girl that gives strippers like me, and the majority of strippers, that she's the one bad apple that spoils the bunch. So there you guys go. There's some more kind of boring look into my little journal and what I was thinking at the time and how I was feeling about certain stuff, because it was scary. I mean, it was a nonstop fucking roller coaster ride for months until I did the interview in August or September of 2002. And I did it for all the right reasons. And everybody was well aware of what I was doing, when I was doing it, and why I was doing it. Because, what's going to keep him from bothering Cy? What's going to keep him from harassing his family and my family? John's family and my family. I did that interview because, blam, it stopped. And that's what we all wanted. So I hope you guys kind of like the insight into my kind of personal little things. It was kind of egotistical. I'm the best woman for Vince and Paul, but you think that when you really like someone and you have that kind of chemistry, you are younger. But as you get older, you realize, you know what? We were perfect exactly the way we were. And that's okay. We didn't get married and have the big grand scheme of things. It's okay. We had something nobody else will. We had Vincent Paul. So, all right, you guys, thank you again to everybody who got to the end of the episode. You guys rock. Guess what? I'm going to be doing a live. I kind of want to do it in the last week of June. It'll be my first live ever. Ever. So tell me, because I was thinking of doing it, like I said, that last week of June, which will be the 22-year anniversary of John's passing. So, tell me what you guys think. I don't know. I've never done a live before. So if you want me to do a live, tell me down in those comments, you guys. Tell me just different things that, you felt about a rocker that you knew you saw for a lot of years and why it didn't work out for you. We all have the reasons. It's okay. Things don't work out. Some people might slam. Oh, poor little groupie never married a rock star. Ha! Never wanted to, bitches. But, all right, you guys. Again, for those of you who are just joining us that are just kind of haunting the channel, hit that share, become part of the family, hit the subscribe, become a member, hit my bells, and join us here at Cocktails and Rocktails. Cheers, big ears.